Hello everybody, my name is Stephen French from Stephen French Languages, and in this particular video I'm going to show you how to conjugate the Spanish verb hablar in the present tense in Spanish. So, if you want to learn hablar, to speak in Spanish, in the present tense, you're in exactly the right place. So without any further ado, let's get going. Hablar in the present tense. Now the first thing I'm going to do, if you look up to speak in a dictionary, you will see hablar. Now what I've just done is I've knocked off the AR and I'm left with what we call the stem. So this is the stem, H-A-B-L. And H-A-B-L is the important foundation block, if you like, of this particular verb. So we've got hablar, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to repeat that particular building block, or what we call the stem, 6 times. What I've done there is they are the singular, and now what I'm doing is the plural. H-A-B-L 6 times over. Above the line here, I'm going to be putting the singular of the verb, and in the bottom part, I'm going to be putting the plural parts. Now, if these grammatical terms don't mean that too much, don't mean that much to you, don't worry. Hopefully, things will become a little bit clearer as we move along. Picking up my trusty red pen, I'm now going to add what we call the endings to the stems. Hablo, hablas, habla. Now what I'd like you to do is to actually repeat those for me. You're going to go hablo, hablas, habla. Hablo, hablas, habla. Okay, off you go, your turn. As you see, I'm waiting for you patiently here. Fantastic, great pronunciation. I can see that nobody's saying the H at the beginning. Drop the H's in Spanish. Hablo, hablas, habla. Now you might be saying, what does all this mean, Steve? What does it all mean? Well, this is what it means. I speak. So in there, packed in that hablo, is I speak in Spanish. And hablas means you speak. So there we have it, you speak, and that is what we call the to form. That's the informal form. In other words, it's things you'd use to your friends, to family, to pets. And the bottom here we've got habla, and that means he or she speaks, and it also means you speak, and this particular you is the usted form. That is to say, that's the polite form in Spanish. So there behind me on the screen we've got hablo, hablas, habla. So what I'd like you to do is, can you just say those for me, and I'm going to go quiet. Brilliant. I'm just going to say it once again, and perhaps you'd like to repeat them. So, hablo, hablas, habla. Off you go. Fantastic. And now what we're going to do, there's the singular knocked off, and now we're going to do the plural. Hablamos, habláis, hablan. So, just repeat those for me again. Hablamos, habláis, hablan. Fantastic. So what do they mean? Well, hablamos means we speak. Hablamos. Habláis means you speak, and that is, the vosotros form. The vosotros form. Here we have the to form in the singular, meaning you, and there we have the plural form habláis. Now, if this is getting a little bit too complicated, for us English speakers, we only have one word for you, just the one. In Spanish, they've got 4. Complicated or not? Well, you get used to it after a while. Hablan means they speak, or you speak, and this time that's what we call the ustedes form. The ustedes form. So that's you polite in the plural. Let's have a bit of practice on this. So building it up, we're going to go hablo, hablas, habla. So off you go. Hablo, hablas, habla. I move a little bit to the left, or my left, your right, so you can actually see what's going on. So hablo, hablas, habla. Repeat it after me. Fantastic. Now, hablamos, habláis, hablan. Excellent stuff. Everybody's dropping their H's, which is always important in Spanish. You don't need those H's at the beginning. So let's run through it all together. Hablo, hablas, habla, hablamos, habláis, hablan. Off you go. Now don't feel shy or timid, just go for it. Nobody's watching, or they might be, depending where you're actually watching this video. But the more you practice, the more you interact, the better it'll actually be. So, hablo, hablas, habla, hablamos, habláis, habla. That's really just to wrap it up. That's about as far as I want to go on hablar in the present tense in Spanish. Here's the top tip. If you're new to Spanish, the most important thing here is hablo. I speak. That's the key thing. That's the one that's most important to you as a speaker, as a learner of Spanish. So I'll leave that thought with you. Hablo is the most important. Lots of other information there in the video. If you did find that useful, why don't consider to subscribing to the channel? And watch out, because there's lots more of these coming over the course of the next weeks and months. Hasta luego, amigos míos.